Hello everyone, back in my shed on BC. Just a little video today, again on cutters, but you never get bored of the subject, that's why you come back to watch. One of my customers keeps going to auctions and getting cutters that are cheap. They've been knocked about, presented, thrown in a box like that. And one has quite a big chunk out of the side of it. So today we'll cut off the cutter once again like we did a few videos ago, gullet it, sharpen them and see how this new high performance grinding wheel goes. I think it's going to be reasonable. I'm also going to check over the grinder to see if any of it is loose because I'm still getting a little bit of vibration and I don't like that when I'm sharpening cutters. So we'll take you around to the bench, zoom in on these cutters, have a look at the damage and what we're going to do with them. Bye for now. Here's a close-up of the cutters we were speaking about, and that's a nice big piece out of that cutter. It's obviously been jammed in the hole. And once again, if you look at that tooth there, you can see it's got virtual equal facet length, the inner and outer facet. I try and get it as central as I can. Sometimes you go over centre a bit to clean up, but that's the sort of grind I try to achieve. And I'm pretty sure I've reground all of these cutters before because they're all ground in that same way. So that cutter will be cut off and then gashed and reground. And the other three I might just get away with regrinding, or the cutter in the middle I think I may have to gullet that, but that'll just be a quick job on the gulleting wheel. They've all seen a fair bit of work and they have got a bit of wear on the land, but I think they'll be good enough to put back in service just with a quick grind. Okay, we'll set up for gashing and bring you back again. I'm using that little mighty clamp that I bought from DigiDirect and I find it absolutely fabulous. I'll take a pick of it towards the end and let you see how I hold the fill light with it. Back again. This is a little item I just mentioned. A clamp that clamps to the magnetic indicator arbor. Screw at the back to tighten up the clamp. Universal holder, and in this case I've got a fill light up there, but you can also put a camera up and mount it anywhere around the workshop, like for $10 delivered. Absolutely bloody fabulous. And I'll be buying a lot more gear off them. It's DigiDirect off the internet and good value for camera gear. But that's also good for holding lights or a coolant line, anything you got around the shop. Back again. Here we are back with the old Clarkson. I'll zoom you in and see if we can't get a bit more cutting off the cutter action. Okay, here we go. It's amazing how good this wheel works. It's designed to work at 10,000 RPM and we're running it at 4 here. But I'm quite happy with the way it performs. Okay, I'll turn the grinder on and we'll start to cut this cutter off. Come on, girl. Just take it in and see how it's on. Okay, rather than bore the pants off you, I'll bring you back just before it breaks through. That's as close as I can get without losing focus. This cutter was extremely hard, much harder than the last one I cut off. It took about, I don't know, 4 or 5 minutes to cut through, and you could see signs that the wheel was starting to overheat. And I might throw that wheel in the rubbish bin after I finish here today. So I'll get it up onto the other grinder and we'll do some gulleting in a sec. Here we are at the gulleting grinder. and I've just made a revelation. I thought all my wheels were the one brand, but they're not. And this particular wheel, as I've said before, works very, very good. And luckily I have a spare so I can show you one. That brand is fabulous, and I noticed right down the bottom in very small writing, made in Taiwan. That seems to be the secret. So now my secret's out. Excellent quality wheel. You will be amazed at how fast this thing gullets high-speed steel. And compared to the Ruby wheels of the other brand that are just too hard for any bloody thing, the secret is out now. And I'm an agent for these guys, and I have never noticed that these come from Taiwan. I don't know if they do now. As I've said before, I've had these wheels probably 10 years. Enough talking. Let's get on and gullet the cutter. Okay, I hold the cutter, and I hope this is focusing correctly, so that the flute is in line with the wheel. That way it gets a correct rake angle. I grind into the gullet, and I grind up the back of the tooth space just a little bit, so the amount I have to grind for clearance behind the cutter is reduced, and that way I can get into the gullet and clear the grinding a little bit easier. This is a bit difficult because I'm all over the tripod. So plunge in and just rotate a little bit as we come out, and that decreases how much I have to grind behind the cutting edge. Try again. And this wheel is just eating this cutter. Mind you, it is a little bit warm on the fingers. Yep, I think that is deep enough for what we want. So now I'm mounted up in the Tooling Cutter grinder. Okay, back again. Trying to get around to the front of the machine with my fat ducts wasn't a bit easy around the light, but let's take another pass now. Round a bit more right. That's right. Now, even though this cutter is demonstrated to be a fair bit harder when we're cutting it off, this high performance wheel is just easy for it. What the life of the wheel will be like, we still have to find out. It's starting to show a little bit of wear, although they could have just been the surface grain being puffed out. I'll put the diamond dresser to it when I have to, and see what the wheel wear will be like. So far, very impressed with it. Two more power in. And again. I won't bore the pants off you with this. When they're finished, I'll give you a look at the end of the cutter. Well, here's a bit of viewing from a perspective you don't normally get from the back of the Tooling Cutter grinder. I was just starting to trip over the tripod here, and I've had enough of it, so put you at the back and we'll see if we can't make some sparks on this cutter. Do like a dry run. Just barely engaging. That's a good one. And a few more forward. Want to get a little bit more. And again. Right, that'll give you an idea from that angle. And there they are, all happy and smiling, nice and shiny where they should be. A little bit of work done today, and I'm off for a rest. Okay, please like and subscribe. See you next weekend.